It's so good. All right, team, let's talk pork loin. One of my favorite cuts on the hog. Look at this beauty. We're here in Eflin, North Carolina today at Wooden Nickel Farms, and we've got one of their Berkshire pork loins here. And I want to show you the ultimate pork chop or pork loin, your choice. Let's get into it. Team, let's get this grill to temperature. First thing we're gonna do is dump some charcoal into the firebox, filling it only about 25% of the way full. Let's take our Kamado fire starters, light them, put them at the bottom of the pile, and let that heat have access. In order to give it more airflow, keep that dome up and open that draft door. While our grill's coming to temperature, we're gunning for about 325 today. Let's take a look at our pork loin and get some scoring, or scruffing as we like to call it. And again, that beautiful fat cap is what we're after. The rendering, the crispiness, all of it. So we're gonna give ourselves some more surface area and avenues for that smoke to penetrate through all of that, okay? So we're just scruffing the top, and then we're gonna come across and scruff the top. Don't go too deep, you know, we're looking for about 1/8 of an inch deep, and that's what we want. Now we're gonna start putting 2-layer seasoning on there. First, I'm gonna start with Lane's Barbecue salt and pepper 50-50. You know, I put salt down first so that it can start wicking out the moisture and really helping our second layer of seasoning adhere. Let's go ahead and get both sides while we're at it. Isn't that pretty right there? That just pops. Second layer of seasoning is gonna be our Lane's Barbecue Honey Sriracha. And so we're gonna put that right on top of that salt and pepper mixture that we just seasoned the pork loin with. Good, good, good. And I love this combination. The saltiness acts as an amplifier. So we're gonna taste more of that pork flavor because of the salt. And then this Honey Sriracha, this hot and sweet combination, is gonna set the bark off. So that looks fabulous. Now, because this is such a long pork loin and we're dealing with, I believe the Kettle Joe is 24 inches in diameter, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this pork loin in half just to make it a little more manageable on the grill. And look how gorgeous that meat is. Let's open the dome and take a look at our charcoal. So while it's coming to temperature still, it's still igniting, but I've got a really hot spot right here. I'm gonna reach over and grab this piece of hickory, and we're gonna dive it right down in the hottest portion of our coals. Now that's gonna start smoking, but the first initial smoke we see right now is that billowy bitter smoke. So until it combusts, until we see flame actually achieved, we're gonna let it sit there. Oh, there's a little bit of flame on those edges. That's gonna clean up our smoke and give us that good smoke we want, that non-bitter smoke. And look at that. That's one of the reasons I like this Kettle Joe. It's got a very wide basin, so great airflow there. And with the tines on the bottom versus the small holes of a fire grate, you have excellent airflow and you're able to achieve that blue smoke a lot faster. And remember, we're doing a direct cook here of 325. We're gonna start presentation side down. I wanna kickstart the rendering process on that fat cap. So fat cap side down first. We wanna promote or kickstart that rendering. As it's approaching 300, we're gonna begin to damper down the draft door on the bottom and the control tower on the top, so we settle in at that 325, 350 mark. We'll give it about 5 minutes before we flip to the next side. Beautiful. Let's see what we got. You want to watch those flames when you open the lid. Oh yeah. Everything's just dancing around, going through those avenues. And now I'm going to shut the lid. You can see the combustion, all that pork fat dripping down on the coals. So we're smoking these pork loins not only with that wood chunk, but also with the drippings of their own fat. I'm just going to kind of pull these to the sides so they're not dripping right on top of that flame. Lid down for about another 10 to 15 minutes. Remember, we're stabilized at that 325-degree mark. As we drop that lid, it's going to snuff that fire, and we're going to be sitting at that comfy, cozy 325. Beautiful. So we've got a little caramelization going on our fat cap right now. We've flipped and moved to the outsides. We're sitting at that comfy, cozy 325, gunning for an internal temperature of 130 degrees. Remember, that's when we're gonna take it off, let it rest, slice it into our individual boneless pork chops, season the newly revealed side that's still medium rare, and then blast sear it till it gets to that perfect temperature. Not dry. We're not going for 150, all right? This isn't your grandma's pork chops where you have to slather it with chunky applesauce, all right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about so good you don't need sauce. I progress. I digress. Let's get them. We're on the farm here. They're running tractors around. I'm all pumped up. You know, this is good. Let's take a peek. It's been about 15 more minutes, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. We're at 130. Right where we want to be. So we're going to take these beauties off. Never a dull moment here on the farm. And let them rest. So they're not done cooking, right? We're going to slice them into thick chops after it's rested. Season that newly revealed side that hasn't seen seasoning, hasn't seen smoke, and blister sear it. So that tells us what do we need to do to the grill. I'm going to let you think about it. What do we need to do to the grill? Raise the temperature so we can get a blistering sear. So dome all the way open. If you need to, if you don't have enough charcoal, you can bank it all to one side and lower your grill grate. I'm just gonna see what kind of flame we get in the next 5 to 10 minutes while this rests, and then we'll adjust grill grates as needed. Make sure you open that draft door all the way and dome's completely open so we can maximize the heat and blast sear those newly revealed sides. 10 minutes into our rest and our fire climb, let's go ahead and take off one of the grill grates. And yeah, I just want to bank all this coal over to one side. We had talked about it, let's go ahead and do it. And what this allows us to do is use minimal charcoal and get maximum results. So now I can decide if I'm going to be too close to the flame, if I'm at a lower level, if I want to be higher. It gives you options, all right? We're banked over. I like the looks of this. I think we got great airflow, we got great heat signature for searing. Let's go ahead and slice these gorgeous pork loins. And think about how you want them to look on a plate. That's how thick you go. So if we start here in the middle, you can see that we have a nice bullseye effect here. This is still raw and this is nicely smoked and cooked. That's exactly what we want. And I'm gonna go, I don't know, Nathan, what's that, 1.5 inches?
It's beautiful is what it is.
Wow, I know that. And it just cuts like butter. So we got these cool, remember, this is the ultimate pork chop here. Oh my gosh. The exterior has all that benefit of kind of the medium low and slow. It's not true low and slow, but slow smoke on the outside, caramelization. Now we're gonna season with the same exact spices on this side. A little salt and pepper. A little bit of that honey sriracha to help build the caramelization. And then we can get the other side when it's on the grill grate. I changed my mind. I think I do want to get that grill grate down lower just to give us that blast sear. So let's go ahead and drop this grill grate right on top of those coals. Now we're going to take these seasoned sides and go right over the flame. Now we season the other side. If we want to, we can close that dome just so we capture some of those drippings. Again, smoking with the drippings that caramelize on the natural charcoal and come up is an incredible flavor. And it's definitely gonna go with it as well, right? Because it's of the pork loin. Let's give that 1 minute and then we're gonna give it a flip. If you want the frickin' grill marks, you can do the 1, 2 and get the nice cross hatch. You know, I'm not into grill marks. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Grill marks should have gone out in the 90s with edible flowers. But I know, let's give the people what they want. On 2 of them, you only get 2. Let's take a look. All right, let's do this one with your pretty grill marks. Okay, those were turned at 45s. The end pieces are gonna cook a little quicker, right? Because they were tempered out already. So we'll go ahead and flip those. And for the rest of this cook, I'm gonna leave the lid up just so we have max airflow and max heat hitting the bottom of the searing. and taking that medium rare to that 130 degree, probably to 145, 150. I'm gonna pick this one up and show it to you. Let's see if we can get a little sizzle dance on there. I don't know. That's pretty. Gonna go ahead and flip that. You can roll these babies around as much as you like. So you're a part of the process here. I don't suggest using your hand, use a pair of tongs. But I'm flipping, looking for that even caramelization to drive that nice medium to done pork. Now, if you get a piece that's finished, you can use the stack method just so it stays nice and warm. Set it right on top. These are stunning. And I love that little shimmer of that fat content. All those bits and bites on the outside that are starting to crisp up. I mean, when I said ultimate pork chop, you guys thought I was kidding. It's still cooking too, right? We didn't pull this off at 150. We pulled them off at that 145 internal mark, and they're still cooking. I'm gonna shut this dome now. You could just do a little mustard with these. You could do that applesauce if you wanted. You could put knobs of butter on right now and just let it slide across, or even make a compound butter. But if you're like me and you're out on the farm here today helping out and feeding the folks at the farm, we're just gonna go straight protein so we can see exactly what this tastes like. We got the nice salt and pepper on the outside with that honey sriracha. So I think we've got a really interesting flavor profile while still celebrating that heritage breed. This is gonna be delicious stuff. 5 more minutes, then we slice. You thought I was playing around when I started talking about the ultimate boneless pork chop. Now again, we could finish this whole baby off and just do that and serve it as a pork loin. That's gorgeous. You know, this still needs to come up to temperature a little bit, but these little beauties. And let's see where we are on the internal here. Just full transparency. I flip it around so it's facing you. That's a decent, perfect pork chop right there, okay? Let's stack just so we have a little real estate, and let's see what we've got. I mean, that piece right there, look at all that smoke, and that look how it springs back. Hey, whoever said don't play with your food missed the frickin' boat. All right, so we're gonna, you know, that bite is just, whew, lights out good, and look at that. All that marbling and intermuscular fat and selective breeding through these hogs has just done right. That Kettle Joe has cooked it perfectly. Let's try that right there. 2 different muscles here, okay? Thus the 2 different colors. As soon as it hit my tongue, I knew that was the ultimate pork chop. As soon as it hit my tongue. No sauce necessary. If I was gonna do a sauce, I'd just do this. I'd drag it in that board sauce, and that's done. Melt in your mouth good. All the benefits of that smoke on the outside, sear on the top, driven to that 140. Oh, I mean, that's an emotional bite. That'll grab hold of you and take you somewhere. That's unreal. Folks, I implore you, be a part of the process. Get in there, use your thermometer, get your temperatures. Don't be complacent, but give yourself options. Banking your coals to one side, maybe even having a grill grate on the other so you can pull it off if it's getting a little too aggressive. Use your tongs, don't use a freaking hand, it's ridiculous. If you enjoyed this method, recipes, throw them to the wind. It's all about the methods. If you enjoyed this method as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, hit that notification bell so that you get all the cool tips and techniques we're throwing at you. From our backyard to yours, cheers and happy grilling. Yeah, baby.